Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley preview. Hot Wheels, Car Culture, Premium, Target exclusive 2-packs. The next set of 3 is here. Mattel sent them to me so I can showcase them for you. I would assume they'll be hitting Targets very, very soon. I know they are out. They were released at the Hot Wheels Malaysia convention just last weekend. I'm inside. I'm in the studio. I've got all kinds of things that I'm Matchbox, Mini GT, or Kaido House. That just arrived. That's not a new model. But I got a lot of things that I'm going to be getting to over the next few days and weeks. And I'm just here. I didn't even clean up. I just threw these 2-packs down. We're going to open them up and showcase them. Doing some compare and contrast because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats in these. I know there's mixed opinions about these. Mixed might be a bit of a generous word. Frustrated opinions about them. But we're, my audience, we are more serious collectors. We tend to know what the repeats are, get a little bit frustrated about the repeats. But for other people, these might be new. So there's some people that maybe didn't get these cars that are happy about that. Obviously, I get that. I prefer to have 2 new cars, 2 new decos. Maybe not necessarily castings, but 2 new decos. But there are some models I'm excited about. We will be doing the compare and contrast like we always do. So let's get right to it. Should we just start with the set that is very much a repeat set? 2 cars that are repeats. But this is going to be the first thing to go. I don't know. Here's the sets that I think are going to be most popular. It's actually an iconic trio. Between Golf, HKS, and Fast and Furious, we got some doozies here, some heavy hitters. And I don't think any of these... Golf seems to be a surprising peg warmer. So if I had to predict a peg warmer, it's going to be this set. But there's some great models in there. This one... I think it's going to be the first one to go. The HKS will be popular. People will buy both of those. But let's get right to it. Fast and Furious. I'll show you the back. There's the trio of sets. There is that in case you want it to find it at your local Target. There's the artwork, Fast and Furious themed, obviously. And we have the before and after. This is the Paul Walker Supra, right from the original. And this is the one that came back in not the movie that was just out, but the movie before that. Sung Kang's character, right, returned in this car, in this Supra. But they are both repeats. This was in the Fast and Furious Premium set. This one was in the Fast and Furious Diorama set. And we have seen this Supra released in basics 1, 2, I think 3 times. 5-pack just recently. But this is the only premium release. So let's just get to it. There's the artwork. I have to say, I don't do a lot of complaining or reviewing, but this packaging's out of control. It's just too much. It's just too much. You've got the Team Transport that has a truck and a car. You have the diorama sets, which makes sense just because of they are kind of diorama sets. But this blister is just too big. It just takes up a lot of space. I would just say maybe take one car if you want to position them differently, like this and the other, like this or something, and just do them more flush. Anyway, this packaging has never seemed to work, and I wonder if we'll ever see Hot Wheels rethink it. But it doesn't matter, we're opening these up. So let me pop this. And before I even put these on the turntable, we'll just do the compare and contrast right away. So we'll take both of these out. I'm going to move this down just a little bit, get rid of that. And let's just go for it. Let's start with the new Supra, the GR Supra. This is what has been dubbed the Dental Floss Pick Supra, based on that door deco. Once you see it, it ain't leaving your brain. There, I think you see it. Let's do the compare and contrast right now. I'll put both of these on the turntable. This is the old one that came from the Fast and Furious, one of the premium sets. This is the new one. And I am seeing nothing outside of maybe a slight shade difference, but what are you going to do? I see nothing that is different about these two. Outside of obviously the date on them. So, this one is in my Fast and Furious collection. This one will go into the premium collection that I have where I kind of keep extras. I'll let this sit on the turntable for a minute so you guys can look at it. I've already forgotten. I think the P26 is the original. Obviously, the S. The S, by the way, if you ever want to know what these codes are on the bases, the letter represents a year, and the number represents a week. So this is the 27th week of, I'm assuming, 2023. So once they pass Z, which is in a few years, I don't know what they'll do. Maybe just go back and repeat it again. Anyway, but that's the code they use. So that's off to the side. Let's talk about the other Supra. Here is the new one out of the 2-pack. Here is the old one. And obviously there's a difference. Significant difference in the shade, right? I don't know which one is more accurate, but like which is closer to the real thing. But that is quite the difference. Other than that, I think license plate is the same. Taillights look detailed a little bit different. I mean, it's very easy to tell, and I don't know if this will be consistent, if the one I have happens to be a little bit darker, or if it's truly a different shade. I had someone ask when I showed a picture of these, like in here you see the wheels are chromed in the artwork, and I think that's more accurate. It's a 5-spoke wheel, right? As a matter of fact, I have, where is it? I just pulled out this R33 for a little bit. This would be the wheel that would make sense, right? Do this chromed, and that would make perfect sense to do a replica of that Supra from Fast and Furious. But my guessing is, let me not get ahead of myself. My guess for why you still have these rims on it, which are just like the old rims, is that there is something that I've, an employee of Mattel can explain this better. But once an SKU has been approved, and the deco, the wheels, and everything has to be specific. So like the color of the color, for the most part, I assume orange here, maybe not a particular shade of orange. The wheels being used, whether they're chrome or not, all of that, once it's been approved, I guess they can use those again. And so this eliminates some extra steps. That's why we do see some repeats. It is easier for some things. Again, whether you agree with them or not, or get sick of them, I totally get that. But from a Mattel perspective, if they're going to buy them, they do these repeats, and it eliminates a lot of steps that they have to take to get these approved. I would love to see this get to be accurate for the Supra from the movie, put the 5 spokes in chrome on this. It would make sense. But I think because they've already done it this way, they just, in order to avoid some maybe extra steps, they did it that way. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I think that's the circumstance. Someone at Mattel might tell me otherwise, but because we've seen some of these repeats have slight differences. But anyway. All right, let's get to the Golf set. Love it. It's obviously Mustang. It's obviously Golf. There's a relation. This is the repeat. This came from the original Golf car culture mix from a few years ago. This is the new car. We'll compare the two. It's the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302 and the 2014 Custom Mustang. That was a Need for Speed casting that we've seen pop up occasionally. But let's go ahead and open it up. There's the art. It looks really good. I don't know if that's based on a particular track, but I do like it. It does look like an American track because it is an American car. I'm assuming it's Tokyo in that Fast and Furious background. All right. Let's get these out. Trying to make as much ruckus as I can. All right, let's start with the compare and contrast. What a great casting this is. This is the Boss 302. I pulled out the original from the Golf set from a while ago. And number 69. Maybe the number 69 on the new one is slightly bigger. But again, it's, if you really want to get into the small details, you definitely can. There might be a slight shade difference. Top looks the same. Taillights look the same. This is essentially the same casting. I'll put them on the turntable so you can take a look at it. I might find a difference. Not seeing anything. So again, they repeat everything. For me, I would say like if they could put different rims on it, although these are perfect rims for this. If they could put different rims on it, I'd be into that. But it is what it is. So again, the repeat car goes into the repeat premium collection I've got. I try and keep everything from these releases, but I don't display them in my display. But anyway, that's cool. All right, let's take a look at this one. Like I said, this is the Custom Mustang, 2014 Custom Mustang, made for Need for Speed. And then I think we've seen a couple of, it got into basic for a minute, but this one looks cool. There's those 5 spokes we were talking about. They look awesome. I think we did this in the sneak peek video from the convention, didn't we? And I think we were told that it was going to be a 2-pack at that point, but this one looks really good. Nice and clean. Gulf Deco obviously looks good. Love the rims on it. I am a fan. Happy to put this one in the collection. By the way, I've got, well, let's see. I haven't made room for this set because I didn't know it was coming. Those 3 slots are for the next Fast and Furious set, which I haven't done yet. Obviously, there's Race Day, which I've already done. That's a spot for the Race Day chase, which is on its way. Both of those chases are actually right there. And I've got, since I didn't have the chases when I did the feature, I've got something kind of cool planned. All right, HKS. This is the set I'm most excited about for obvious reasons. I love the HKS livery. I'm not alone in that. I'm not original in that. There's nothing original about that thought because it's just one of the coolest racing liveries. Hot Wheels knows it. That's why they've got the license with them. There's some really cool decos out there. HKS has something special, this kind of wrap style. And so they went with the R33. That is the new casting, Nissan Skyline GTR BCN R33. New casting, I mean, that's the new model with the new deco. And they took, interesting enough, the MBK van, which is not necessarily licensed, but definitely inspired by like the Toyota van from Japan. And this one was from Pop Culture, I believe. So it's the first Pop Culture repeat we see in a set like this. Now, HKS, I don't know if I've got everything, at least in the HKS deco. I know HKS has shown up on some other cars, but in this, you know, black and purple and teal and that. So we'll do the compare and contrast with the van. But from what I've gathered, here's the car that, well, we've got both the regular and the super Honda Civic. This was a really cool one because the regular looked cool in gray with the HKS deco on it. The Super Treasure Hunt included more HKS deco and obviously the premium rims. One of the cooler Super Treasure Hunts from a couple years ago that I think was really, really cool. They did the front deco on that one. Really, really neat one, that HKS. So we had that set. And then I think the others that are in that HKS is a trio of Skylines. So we've had the R32 and we had the R34, and now we have the R33. So we have the bookends. Here's the R32 released twice. It was one of the 2-pack repeats. It came in one of the racing car culture sets that I'm going to forget the name of. But it had this perfect wrap all the way around. You had the taillights and headlights done with this full HKS wrap, which was done really, really well. I remember Jimmy Lou at Hot Wheels talking about it, saying he was really excited for this wrap style, which is hard to do for these kind of basics. And I think they moved a little extra budget in to do it this way. Then they repeated it. That's where you see the value in that license. They were able to repeat that HKS R32 in the 2-packs and probably got their value. And then the one that probably gets forgotten a little bit is the HKS Hot Wheels ID model. So we do have the R34. It's obviously not premium, but it kind of is. With the ID rims, full HKS wrap style, done in that kind of Super Treasure Hunt style Spectre Flame, that black Spectre Flame. Really, really cool model, becoming a highly desired Hot Wheels ID release. By the way, I found out, I heard, if maybe some of you did too, that they're actually eliminating, they're going to kill the Hot Wheels ID app and game, I think on December 31st, which is a real bummer. So that whole garage and everything is gone. Not happy about that because it was kind of cool. And you'd love to see them apply that elsewhere. That's for another time. So we do have the R34. We do have the R33. We have to put that one in the middle. So let's go ahead and open this up. We'll do the compare and contrast with the van. Put that right here. Put these right here. Get rid of that. Put this here. All right, HKS van. Doubt we're going to see much difference. Rims are the same. Deco appears to be the same. Here, I'll even put these this way, see if the pattern is the same. It does look like the pattern is the same. Looks like the rear is the same. There might be a slight shade difference. Don't care too much about that. So there's the original. That goes back in the collection, and so does that one. That goes over there as well. But the one I'm most interested in is this one. I'll do a compare and contrast with the R32, and they look pretty similar, but they're supposed to, right? But they're two different models. R33, Rio Asada design, I think it's one of the all-timers. It's really, really well done. I brought out a couple, you know, the R34s had a run. So was the R32 of iconic liveries. Now the R33 has this trio. We have the Nismo version, which was in Boulevard, one of the first mixes of Boulevard, which is fantastic. That was from like 4 or 5 years ago. I think that one is great. And then I brought out this plain white, as you saw earlier, R33, which I think is fantastic too, with the 5-spoke rims. We're just seeing this collection of these more of the R33, R32, and R34 just in these iconic liveries, and now we add this beauty, the HKS. It looks amazing. I'm glad it's done in premium. I'm glad it's got the full wrap. It has to be done this way, especially in premium. Basic, you can give it some breaks because it's a $1 model, but they still did a nice job with this one. But this one's got to be super, super busy, super, super wrapped all over the car. There can't be any breaks whatsoever, and there aren't any. So, well, I guess maybe under the spoiler, but that's okay. We'll give them a break there. We'll give them a pass. But everything else looks, it even wraps around the front of the spoiler, which looks great. Absolutely love that. That is the highlight by a cajillion miles for me, is the HKS R33. You guys tell me what you think. Opinions about the repeats, opinions about Fast and Furious, them beating a dead horse, but we know that Fast and Furious set's going to sell. So does Mattel. That's why they made it. So I can't, like, I'm not too keen on it. I mean, the fact that in my permanent collection, the Mustang and really the HKS R32, they're the only two models that will go into my display collection, which is kind of crazy. So that's kind of a bummer, but I can't argue if Mattel does, because we're going to buy up these sets. Thank you, everybody. You guys tell me what you think. Bye.